excited. Since I told them that you were going to do this call for us, the team have just gone absolutely crazy. I'm like the most powerful woman in network marketing, like without a doubt. So we are so privileged and excited to have you here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to be here. So I don't want to waste any more of your time because I know you had to do a dance party for 20 minutes. So I'm just going to jump in. I'll mute out and then we can rock and roll. So I'm excited. All right. Well, hello, everybody. What is going on? My name is Jessie Lee. You can call me #BossLee. And I'm excited to talk to you tonight because this is a subject that I think I only see women on here. So it actually it's like a perfect conversation. I see a lot more of fear issues in women than anything. And I want to help you overcome those fears because it is no different in America or in Ireland or wherever you are. We all have fears of this, and specifically I love that we're going to talk about the fears around recruiting because I'm sure maybe it's Holly, maybe it's Joanna, maybe it's Deborah, maybe it's Siobhan, maybe it's Laura. I don't know who it is that is nervous about recruiting, but I'm going to tell you it's not abnormal. Okay, so that's the first thing I want you to know and write down is it's not abnormal. And the reason is because what you actually probably have is a fear of rejection. Am I right? Like, am I right, Keely? Am I right, Kelly? Am I right, Jess? Am I right, Ashleen? Like, I'm just telling you, I've been doing it a long time. And what I have found, I should say, is that a lot of the times we don't do the things we want to do because we're so scared what somebody else is going to say. And so I want to start this by actually pointing out that if you don't have a camera on right now, it's probably because you don't feel the most beautiful. And then B, if you do have a camera on, you're literally only looking at yourself. So don't worry, okay? That's what we do. We get on these calls, we stare at our own faces, okay? So I purposefully cover myself because otherwise I won't look at gorgeous Rafaela, I'll miss Olivia. Like, I'm gonna miss everything, all right? So don't worry so much about it and just understand that nobody is judging you, even though sometimes I know it feels like everybody's judging you. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing I just want to put into your hearts more than anything is you have a duty to share this, okay? You live on this little island, okay? Well, is everyone from Ireland or is it just... But okay, we gotta like beat back it up. First of all, tell me where you're from. Second of all, my maiden name is O'Sullivan. So those of you who are Irish, I gotta tell ya, doesn't get much more Irish than this. Oh God, now there's Zimbabwe, now there's France. Okay, there's all kinds of places. I was told we're talking to Ireland, all right? So anyway, I'm just kidding, this is great. You're all over the UK. Okay, I love it. There are a lot of Irish. Okay, so I'm very Irish as well, I must say. But at any rate, I don't know why I went there, but I was gonna say, some of you are on this little island, some of you are over there in the UK, some of you, I think those are the only two places really, Wales, okay, Wexford, here we go. There are more people that need you than don't, okay? Hear my heart on this. There are more people that need you than don't. And when we don't share our opportunity and when we allow our own fears to stop us from doing things, you're not just impacting your own life, you are stopping your ripple effect. You are stopping your ripple effect of change in the world. And I say that to you as somebody who, my organization now, it started with me, right? Just like your organization started with you, okay? But now, an organization in 27 countries is where I build. I build actively in 27 countries. Over 22,000 active promoters around the world, over 600,000 customers, many of whom, of course, I will never know. And I only say that to you because I said yes. So my ripple effect of that, not to mention my ripple effect of things like this, like there was no way I wasn't going to come on, by the way. I knew I was going to have to be late after the password didn't work, etc. But like, this is very important to me. Because I want you to get in your head and think to yourself, who is impacted when Haley doesn't show up? Who is impacted when Ashleen doesn't show up? Who is impacted when Sophie or Melissa or Finola doesn't show up? Because it's really easy to think, oh, I get it. If I show up, I can recruit some people. If I show up, I can get some customers. If I show up, I'll make a little bit of money. Stop thinking about you and start thinking about when you show up, the ripple effect you have. Who is so scared right now because they can't pay bills, because they're in a pandemic and they're quarantined still? Europe is much more strict than America right now, right? Who is affected in every single which way right now, and I have the power to talk to them? Who's the mom on the park bench? The mum. Who's the mummy, right? Who's the mum on the park bench who watches their kids play on the playground and is secretly praying for you to say something to her? Right? Whose life never changes because you decide not to have the conversation? And I know that's kind of deep, and maybe I went really deep really fast. It hasn't even been 5 minutes yet, I don't think. But like, I just want you to go there for a second, because it's so easy to make it about ourselves. But what I would love to impress upon you is the idea that it's actually about everybody else. Okay? So, what are you scared of? You know? Like, what are your fears? I mean, you can throw it in the chat. I'm curious. What are your fears that make no freaking sense if you actually think about it? Are you scared of live video? This is funny to me. When people say live video, I'm like, are you actually scared of a telephone? Like, is that a real thing that goes on in your life? You're scared of a hole in a screen? No, you're not, right? No, I'm so scared of live video. I'm just not good at it. Okay, you are going to be bad at it way before you're good at it. So, like, let's just build that bridge and get over it. Okay, that's the first thing. The second, like, I don't know, what are you scared of? Are you scared of TikTok and Instagram Reels? Maybe you're just scared because you've never done it before, right? A lot of the time, our fears are just because they're unknowns. I love this judging. I already mentioned at the beginning of this, but I'll mention it again. The only person actually judging you is you. You're literally looking at yourself. How many of you watch your lives back or listen to your recordings back and you're like, my voice was just terrible. I sounded like I had a cold. Like, then stop listening to your stuff back. You know what I mean? You're judging you. You're judging you. You look in the mirror, you're editing all these photos. Like, there is a reason I get on calls like this, and this is what I like to do. I really like to look like this. Now, my hair looks good because I own a hair salon, okay? But, like, this is, like, not a thing. I don't touch my face before calls. And I do that intentionally because I actually want to impress upon you that you're perfect how you are. Right? What are these beauty standards? Have you noticed they changed? They always change. So what is it you're actually scared of? It doesn't actually make logical sense. If we weren't super pasty white and super chubby a couple hundred years ago, we were ugly because we were poor. If you were tan and skinny, which everybody seems to want these days, kind of difficult with all this British blood, right? All this Irish blood, like, it's a little hard for some of us, right? You're like, God, spray me, turn me colors, okay? Like, we're like all of us with our melanin struggle, okay? Like, I'm just gonna tell you, that was ugly before. And now it's what we're chasing. So how about we learn to love ourselves? Because this fear of being a spammer or a scammer or not good enough or what am I selling or what am I doing, everybody feels that. But if people are going to judge you, I got to tell you, if that's our biggest fear, because several of you said this in the chat, if your biggest fear is being judged, then give them something to judge you about that you're proud of. Write that down. Give them something to judge you about that you're proud of. Okay? And I'm saying that to you because you know what? I know people judge me every day. I get the DMs, I see the comments, but I'm so much more focused on the loving comments. I'm so much more focused on the shares where people are like, you spoke to my soul, okay? I'm so much more focused on like the podcast reviews that are glowing. I'm so much more focused on the people who say, you changed my life, that when somebody comes in and they're a little keyboard warrior, I'm kind of like, whatever, Patricia or whoever, you know, like whatever. And something I want to remind you of when you're in that feeling is that the only people I know to hurt people are hurt people. So if somebody's ever said something to you and you're like, oh my gosh, like they're so mean, I'm not good at this, they told me I'm terrible, they told me I looked fat, they told me I looked ugly, they told me my lighting was wrong, they told me I made a fool of myself, my mom said I should get a real job, my dad said this, my partner said that. Hurt people hurt people. This is a fact. Okay? Anything somebody says about themselves, I will promise you, is really never about you. It's nearly always about them. Have you noticed? Like, that's their internal demons being bothered. And I want to tell you that, since everyone's number one fear seemed to be judgment. Now, I'll tell you, if you're feeling fear around things, I want you to understand that you can't overcome a fear that lives in a dusty, hidden region in your subconscious. You've got to face it, okay? You've got to face your fears and rise, okay? There's gonna be fears in your life. This is just normal, okay? So maybe you start to pay attention to the things your body is telling you when you're feeling the fear. Like, how many of you have, I don't know what the right word is. It's not like psychosomatic or anything like that, but what is the word for when you have your body is a physical reaction? Is it just called physical reactions? Okay, when your body physically reacts to stuff, over the next week, I want you to pay attention to it, okay? When your hands get clammy, you know what I mean? You ever almost done something for your business and then your hands get sweaty and you're like, oh no, okay? Like, you know what I mean? Okay, have you ever almost done something in your business and then your heart starts to race? This is what I'm talking about. These reactions, I forget what the word is for them, right? Have you ever almost done something in your business and you start to get hot flashes? You're like, I'm going to die, I am melting, okay? Whatever those things are, you're like, oh my God, I can't do it, I'm sweating, right? Systemic things in your body, right? You break out in hives, you're like, I can't do a Zoom, look at this. Okay, whatever those things are, okay, in your body, maybe start to identify what those actual fears are. Maybe start to notice the patterns that are going on in your life when you're about to barf, right? When you hear the doorbell ring, right? Or when your phone rings, or whatever it is. Maybe take notes and write down all the things that seem significant to you, right? Because I can promise you there are going to be things in your business when you're scared, when you're trying to recruit, when you're doing stuff that is going to trigger you. Because let me explain something that we all have. There's not a woman on this call. I literally still only see women. And you're all gorgeous. I don't know what that's all about, but that's fine. All right. Apparently I need to move over there and be surrounded by beautiful women, but it's okay. So, like, there's not a single woman on here who does not have real traumas. Okay? All of you do. And they're valid, and I feel you, and I appreciate you. Also understand it is your decision how you respond. Does that make sense? It is your decision how you respond to, oh my gosh, I would love to make that post, but I already know if I do it, I know what my father's gonna say. Or if I do it, I'm gonna get judged like I was judged in grade school. Or if I do it, you get the point, right? You all have those things. You all have things that happened in your past that are spilling into your future. And you can't stop the trigger, but what you can stop and change is the way that you respond and the way that you react, right? So what I suggest is when you feel that fear, because you're going to feel it, is how can you run toward it, right? How can you turn your fears into power? Because I'll tell you, we all start the same way in this business model, right? We all start with a kit or a pack or a whatever you want to call it. And we all start with how many recruits? Throw it in the chat. How many recruits does everybody start with? Do I have any water? I am dehydrated. Good Lord. Ugh. How many recruits do y'all start with? Right. 0. Okay. How many customers does everyone start with? Also 0, right? None. So if we understand that everyone starts on the same playing field, then when we feel the fears, can we make the decision to step into our power? Can we make the conscious decision and effort to be the person that outlasts? And maybe you're looking at people and you're saying, I've been in business for 12 months, 15 months, 8 months. I have no recruits. I have no customers. You know what? We need your story too. Do you understand how important you are? If you start today to step into your fears in recruiting and in sales and in business building and etc. Here's what I mean by that. There are more people than you know that need you to win to give them hope. To that mom on the park bench, right? You can say, girl, let me tell you, I failed for 11 months. I had no recruits. I had no customers. I had nobody interested in my business. I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing. I was told I should go live. I was told I should make posts. I was told to get on TikTok. I was told to get on Instagram. I was told to do all these things. And I didn't do any of these things, but I started doing these things. And now my life looks like this. Does that make sense? That's so important. That story is just as valid as the person who comes in, like, you know who she is, right? Who is it who joined and it's almost too easy for her and you love her but you hate her. All right, you're giggling. You know exactly what I'm talking about. She's just so freaking good and you just want to punch her in the throat. You don't understand why everything comes so easily for her. She I don't even know, like, she burps on live video and she gets 5 customers and you're like, I hate you. Why? If I'm not perfect, then nothing works, right? We need her story too. We need all the different stories. We need the stories of the women who look different than us. We need the stories of women with different religions than us. We need the stories of women from different countries than us. I love the woman who said, I'm from Zimbabwe, but now I live in Ireland, I think she said. Like, you need literally every single one of those stories. They're all valid. And certain people are only going to be attracted to you. But if you're not putting yourself out there because you're so scared of judgment or being laughed at or whatever, then those people are never going to find you. Something I say a lot of the time, and maybe you've heard this, is I say, if people are going to judge you anyway, because that's what people do, right? Well, then put on a show. Do you want them to judge you because you're broke and your life looks the exact same as it did 5 years ago? Or do you want to judge them? Do you want them to judge you because you're driving an Aston Martin and your kids are in the most fancy private school, or because your house is ridiculous, or because you travel the world with your family, or because you have, the best mentors and coach, I don't know, like whatever it is for you, right? If they're going to judge you for the way your life is, well then, I don't know, maybe give them something to judge you about that you're like, yes, judge away, I'm very proud. Yes, this really is my life. Yes, this really is what network marketing has done. Oh, you don't like the Lamborghini? You'd like it if I liked you enough to put you in it and drove you around town. Oh, you don't like Lamborghinis? Do you want to drive in the Range? Oh, you don't like Range Rovers? I mean, I got a Porsche too. Do you prefer the British, the German, or the Italian? I got all 3, and they're all mine, and they're all paid off. What's the problem? Oh, is the problem I don't like you? Okay, well, that's right. Okay, judge away. Okay? I'm just being funny, but I'm telling you this because some of you don't understand. You don't understand that you can live any life you want. But you've got to get out of these 6 inches between your ears. These are the most impactful 6 inches in your life. My brain just went somewhere totally inappropriate, but y'all are European, okay? Wow! Okay, what I'm trying to say, all right? These 6 inches between your ears, all right? Go with me. All right, I knew you were my people. Y'all, every camera laughed, so I feel like we're sisters, we're friends, I knew it, okay? So, I love it. Genevieve's like, that is not the most impactful 6 inches in my life. Okay, all right, buckle down, sister, calm down. All right, but anyway, so I'm talking about your brain, all right? For those of you who missed the joke, maybe you got it the second time, all right? Like, your mindset. It's okay to feel fears. We all do. But how are you going to overcome them? How are you going to step into your power? Who is the person who needs you to speak up? Who is the person that needs your story to be told? Because you not telling your story and you not being vulnerable and you not sharing your opportunity, that's dangerous. You know what I mean? That's dangerous to somebody who needs you. And some of you might think, really? My story's not like yours. My story's not growing up in a basement. My story's not poverty. My story's not immigrating. My story's not, rags to riches. My story's just this to this. Right. But remember when I told you everybody needs your story? We need all the stories. And the only way that happens is if you share. So I understand it's scary to go and tell your story, whether it's in text or whether it's in Instagram stories or whether it's on live video. I know that. And I know some of you are scared you're going to get a mean phone call from your mom or your dad who says, oh, That's not true. Well, I just want to give you the permission to tell your truth, because your truth is your truth, and you don't need permission to tell your truth. Your story remains valid, okay? And I will tell you, practice mindfulness, slow it down. When you feel the fear, breathe through it. You know, it's much like giving birth. Are there any moms on here? Any moms? Anybody got babies? Any babies on the line? Okay, when you are terrified in childbirth and you are so scared and you feel like you're going to die, okay? What do they tell you to do? Yes, that's right, Lindsay. They tell you to breathe. They tell you to breathe. Okay? Kiara's 35 weeks pregnant. There you go, girl. Well, I'm warning you. Breathe. The next 5 weeks of your life, practice your breathing, right? Before this baby comes. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Because oftentimes it starts with the shallow breath, doesn't it? You're about to do something for your business and you go, and then it turns into shaking, right? Oh God, I have anxiety, right? And then it turns into like the sweats, right? So you start sweating. It turns into all these things, this massive ripple effect, and it all could have been fixed if you breathed. Because ultimately, all of the things you've been scared of in the past have not killed you, have they? No. They've gotten you where you are today. So I know it can be scary to recruit. I know it can be scary to have conversations. I know it can be scary to get outside of your comfort zone. I also know that on the other side of fear is all the success that every single one of you wants and quite frankly deserves. So I know I'm over time, but that's Jessie Lee. I love you all and I appreciate you so much. Thank you for staying up. I know that it is getting late over there. I think we're 9:43 p.m. over there in the UK for sure. I appreciate all of you and your time. It might be weird that I say I love you, but there are people in this world that hate people for no reason. So I will choose to love you for no reason.